Would you tell us your name, a little bit about yourself, and also what branch of service you were in and how long?
My name is Zamora Crawford Olin. I am a wife, mother, entrepreneur. I joined the Navy when I was 18 years old. Totally did not expect to join. Although I was in ROTC in high school, I thought my route would go a different way, but the Navy turned out to be one of the best things I think that happened to me. So.
And how long?
I was in the Navy 8 years.
Okay.
On active duty.
Wow, that's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And why did you choose the Navy?
Why did I choose the Navy? It's a funny story. I actually wanted to be a Marine. Even though I was in Air Force ROTC, which is a totally different thing. But my recruiter was cute. So we used to have these uniforms, all black, uninterrupted black. They called them Johnny Cash uniforms. And he was attractive in a uniform, so he kind of talked me into it. And so when he comes to the house to sign me up, my mom's like, okay, I see. I see why you said
right.
yes.
That is awesome. That's a great story. Love that.
I don't know if my husband would appreciate that, but it's the truth.
Hey, it's part of your story. So,
yeah.
So is there anything that you miss about being in active duty?
Oh, wow. You know, sometimes I don't miss standing watch, I'll tell you, but there are days when I just miss like the camaraderie of it all, just being in service. Even though after I got out of the Navy, I went into civil service for about 12 years, and I still serve the government to this day. I still serve as a war fighter, but I miss it some days, just getting up and just being on base,
Sure.
You know, seeing different things. I was in the aviation community when I first started. And then in the Navy, I did this thing called cross-rating where I changed my job and I became a legal man. And so, I don't know, it's just some days I do miss it all.
Yeah, I understand that. Do you keep in touch with some of the people that you were in service with?
No, unfortunately, I do not. Sometimes, you know, you're there for a couple of years and then you leave, and I used to. So there are some girls that I met my very first duty station, and we're connected on Facebook, but it's not the same. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I do kind of regret, when I was young, you don't understand the importance of networking.
Yes.
And building those relationships. And then the military, although it does facilitate an environment like that, you don't really appreciate it until you've moved on. So.
Sure. Yes. Mm-hmm. So what was your plan B if you hadn't joined the Navy?
Well, the Navy was my plan B.
Okay.
I got, I had a full scholarship to college, and I had a partial scholarship. I had two schools that were my A and B schools, and I got into both. But we did not have the resources growing up for me to even pay like my, all I had to pay was my room and board. Sure. And have a meal plan, and it was not just in a plan for me. So I didn't want to put that burden on my mom, and so I went to the Navy. But it worked out because they paid for every degree I have. So that was my I guess my consolation prize. Sure.
So tell me about the degrees that you were able to get while being in the Navy.
So I was fortunate enough to be able to go to school, and my first duty station, I was stationed in Sigonella, Italy, and so I started taking classes at the University of Maryland. We had a site there, and almost on every installation there is a Navy college where you can go and sign up and take classes, whether they were correspondence courses or remote learning at the time. So I was able to go in, and it took me a while to get that undergraduate degree done, but I was able to, my last duty station, I had a master chief at the time, and he was a senior chief when I actually checked on board, but he asked me, well, what do you want to get out of this? And I was like, well, I want to finish my degree. And he was told me, say, if you do what you're supposed to do, I'll make it happen for you. And so I was taking classes all the time. I would run at lunch, had an extended lunch some days, right after work. I would run to, take a class here. I was on a ship. I took classes wherever I can get them. I took classes, but I was just, not just at Master Chief at the end, but every duty station I was at, I had leaders in place and peers that would support me. It wasn't always easy.
Sure.
I made some people mad because the watch bill had to be changed and some stuff had to be shifted around, and just to make accommodations, when you take those classes. But overall, everyone was supportive. And if it wasn't for that promotion of just educating lifelong learning that I learned by being in the military, I wouldn't have got that. And I think some people think that, I'm not going to go to school, I'll go to the military. There was always a class
right.
for everything. And I was in the Navy during a time where we had this total quality management, TQM, and I felt like I was taking a TQM class all the time. But I am grateful for that because it taught me processes, thinking in systems. And so when I got out of the military, it was like, walking into organizations, and it's like, how are things running here? Because you guys are... You're all over the place.
Right.
And so the Navy really taught me how to do things the right way, research, find the answers. We would have these huge SOP manuals, and you didn't walk up to someone and be like, well, tell me how to do this. They're like, did you read the SOP? So you learned how to troubleshoot and, research the problem before you just went and asked for help. And so it was almost like, hey, this is what I think I should do. Am I on track?
Right.
So
that's awesome. So what advice would you give to someone who's just enlisting?
Just enlisting. Listen, be teachable. Someone's opinion is not a reflection always of who you are or how good you are at your job. Learn how to operate in excellence in everything that you do, from the way that you show up to shining your shoes to, we used to call it being squared away in the Navy. So you have to show up and consistently be that, because it will take you further in life, in your career.
That's great advice. Great advice. So before we wrap up, is there anything that you'd like to tell us about with your business, what you're doing now? You said you're working with the government as well. So tell us a little bit about that. So
I am the CEO of Crawford Olin, and we are a digital transformation company. So we provide basic business consulting support services. We do app development, social media management, revenue growth generation, strategy planning, UI, UX support. So really helping companies, in a nutshell, leverage how they use technology and using it to grow their business. So when I first went into business, it was right after leaving federal service. I found out my son had autism. And so I had to kind of cut short what I was doing there. Career had to be placed on hold, and I went home. I didn't last long, just kind of working with him. So I was like, I need to do something. And so I started consulting. I was a federal contracting officer at the time. And so I started helping people figure out how to navigate government contracting and procurement. And I was also teaching that same subject matter at the graduate level at Webster University on base. So I would be teaching soldiers and sailors and other folks how to become contracting specialists. And so that was my entry into the world of business full time. And then I realized, I was like, I want to do a little bit more than that. So we sort of shifted what we do. I had to go back to school, relearn, retool, because I can't consult in an area that I know absolutely nothing about. So took a couple years and went back to school, got some more education expertise, and here we are today. And so we got to a point where we wanted to pursue government contracting for ourselves. And so I've been fortunate to have a couple subcontracts that we have worked, and so that's what we're doing now, managing a few subcontracts.
That's fabulous. Fabulous. So this brings us to the end of our interview. Thank you for spending time with us and for sharing so much. We can't wait to feature your story.
Thank you.